Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And man, as you can tell by my eyes, I've been watching the replay of that FAMU game and it has driven a brother to drink. So there is definitely a little something in my cup today. Eyes are a little faded, camera is a little sideways. Let's fix that. But that being stated, man, last night we did an instant reaction because I promised I normally do instant reactions, but it was probably the least informed instant reaction I've ever done because I had not watched the second of the game. I honestly watched it on ESPN trying to keep up because I, like you, could not pick it up on Bounce Network, and I did not know that I could watch it on YouTube. If you've not done so, and if you want to also join a brother in drinking, it is brown in my cup with a little bit of tea. Then go back and watch on YouTube. The first hour, about the first hour or so, has no sound. So after that first hour, you do get a little bit of sound, and it's a lot easier to follow. But then in the third quarter, the score freezes until the fourth quarter. So again, the Rattlers have driven a brother to drinking. So, but just to kind of go back over, FAMU had a couple things going on. We had FAMU bowling that did not happen, obviously. Well, not obviously, for a good reason. You also had FAMU women's basketball as well as men's basketball. And we also had volleyball and football. Now, we're not going to talk about the men's basketball, because I don't want to talk about that. If you're not too upset, I mean, FAMU men's basketball kind of is what it is. And it's early in the season. So for a lot of those that are expecting the team to do something that's not done in the past, I need you to curb your enthusiasm. I mean, they fought hard against Portland State, but again, they're overmatched. So we're going to lead off with that. But let's be realistic. As the season progresses and as the season goes on, you're going to have a better team that's going to develop and become more watchable. Right now, it's kind of hard to watch them. And it's because you want to win. Like, realistically, you don't want to watch your team lose. It's your school, it's your team. But more than likely, they're going to lose. It is what it is. But always big shout outs. CablebustersTV.com, title sponsor for the Fangs Up podcast. Got a few more weeks of that going, but hopefully they re-up for another season of that. We also have HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Thank you as always to Adam and the whole crew, Herb, everybody affiliated with HBCU Digital. This has been a great experience. And again, we got a little bit of contract going on with us, and things are good. Like, we've been very fortunate with that. Your man's, and I don't say boy because I'm from the South. I don't like the term boy in reference to a black man, but your man's is been. I'll be at the Florida Classic, so I'll be there. Big shout out to FAMU's sports information director, Josh Padilla, and the entire crew over there as well. They've definitely looked out for me, as well as a couple other things. So also big shout out to the brothers from ONG Strike Zone. Those good dudes like Brian, Kofi, Kelvin. I'm telling y'all, those are some good people, man. I definitely I'm appreciative. So, and that's to say the least. Also, again, Herb Seward, if you missed the basketball space, you missed a treat. I know that's like the traditional thing that we in the black community say to try to lure you into coming into something, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had some people from different colleges and universities, and it was focused on basketball. And that's pretty cool. That's a sport that is near and dear to my heart just because I am more of a football fan, but this podcast really started during basketball season. And because FAMU's doing really good. Who's talking about FAMU athletics like this? And I didn't know about ONG quite yet, and then I learned about them a little later. So again, long story short, not to go on a whole tangent, but basketball season how it really started and when I started. So that's always going to be an important sport to me. And so mentioned in the bowling tournament, the bowling tournament got canceled. Sonic Boom Classic. If you look on the family website, excuse me, a little chest itch there. But it was canceled. It didn't take place. And I'm not mad at it. We're tied for 11th in the conference, meaning we're last. If you're tied for 11th with another team, there are 12 teams in the conference. It means you're in last place. We're missing some players, y'all. So hopefully we can do some things. That may be my next team that I support. Again, baseball is going to be my team for this month. I'm waiting until right before Thanksgiving to send my little donation. It's not going to be a lot, but I'm going to encourage you. Let's all pick a team every month for the next couple months to support. This month, I'm choosing baseball. Next month, probably going to be bowling. So bowling, and then we'll see about basketball or track. But some of the let's all bless them with $10 or $15. You can do that through the FAMU Foundation. Notice I didn't ask you to send me any money. I don't have my Cash App or anything up there, but ask you to always support FAMU athletics. So, but the bowling event was canceled. Also, the USF basketball game, FAMU versus USF. It was a final score of 90-50. It was a loss. I got there. I was there. I got there kind of late. Full transparency. I was at the University of Tampa earlier in the day covering that game. I actually got to work it. So it was really cool. That my first time spotting for a basketball game. So got to do a doubleheader there. And they met with some of my family. I have family in Tampa. And if y'all don't know, I enjoy my family. I have in-laws in right now. So as soon as the show is over, I'm probably going to try and catch up with them as well. But I'm a family-oriented man. I love my wife, love my kids, love my family. And I was like, I'm in Tampa. I don't want to hear them say I didn't come through and come visit. So I sacrificed going to the FAMU basketball game so that I could spend time with my family because they are important to me. But I got to the FAMU basketball game. I got there in the fourth quarter. Women's basketball split in the four quarters. Men's basketball split in halves. I need men's basketball to catch up. But by the time I got there, it was already an L. And if you didn't watch last season's basketball team, you're going to be more frustrated than I would anticipate. If you watch last season's basketball team, you're impressed because I came away as a fan with the understanding that this team's improved. We looked a lot better. We did try to force the ball in the middle at times where we really couldn't, but USF had a pretty good three-point shooting game. And I mean, even at the end of the game, they were still hitting threes. That's a team that's probably going to make the latter rounds of their conference tournament. They're a pretty good team, but you're playing good competition. And that's something that you need to have happen. You need to play good competition because iron sharpens iron. And if you're going to get better as a team, you need to play good teams. And really, this is the preparation for the conference tournament. You're not in a place where, as a program, you're going to finish in top 25 right now. You're not there. Again, this is Coach Pillow's third season at FAMU, and one of those seasons of COVID year where she didn't get to coach. Then you had last year, which was riddled by COVID and injuries. This is a whole new basketball team. So when you're coming in to watch Coach Pillow's basketball team, come on with that mindset. Come with that understanding that this is a new team. They're still coming together. They're gelling. And I speculate by the SWAC, by the time SWAC play starts, that we look a lot better. And I got to sneeze that I'm fighting. There it is. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was trying to hit the mute button, but it was gone. But I think by SWAC season, we look a lot better. This is a team where you can see that they're buying into what Coach Pillow's selling. Even when we were down big, the team was still playing hard. This was last year's team. They did not play hard. They didn't give up. They just didn't have the requisite talent to compete. This year, you got some talent. And if she continues to build upon this, I would love to see Coach Pillow get another 2 years. That's just me being honest. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but I feel like as a fan, and it's not just because she's cute. Don't get me wrong, Coach Pillow. Look, she not bad. She's easy on the eyes. She's a nice lady to look at. So whatever, that's your whole steez, whatever. But as a coach, she looks pretty competent. Like I've heard other folks be like, "Yo, I don't think she knows what she's talking about. I don't know what she's doing." That's cool. But for me, it's not because my coach looked better than some of y'all's coaches, but it's because she actually was still coaching, like late in the game. And my seats I had good seats. I ain't gonna lie. Women's basketball tickets ain't expensive. I bought 2 tickets for $20. I'm just full transparency. I know, brother, don't be lying to you. I could get 1 for 15 or 2 for 20. So just in case I had a friend, cousin, or homeboy who was like, bro, you should have. No, I bought 2 tickets. If you want to come, you can go. So no excuses. I had good seats. I was like 2 rows back, 3 rows back, and I sat on the fan. I sat behind FAMU. I did not sit behind South Florida. And I wore my FAMU bow tie. If you don't believe me, check the FQ FAMU Twitter page or the Fangs Up Twitter page. I was there and I was repping. I was cheering. I was a homer. I did no press pass. I didn't have to act like I knew I had been there before. I did not. I was cheering for them. Fourth quarter, we were down 30. I didn't care. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and this isn't me being a homer. Y'all know I don't wear orange and green shaded glasses. I'm real with you. If we're gonna lose, I tell you we're gonna lose. If I think we're gonna win, I tell you we're gonna win. That was a game where I told you we're gonna lose, but I didn't come away frustrated. I didn't come away disappointed because I was a realist. But we look a lot better. We look a whole lot better. I mean, this team, I'll be honest with you, this team versus last year's team, we probably win by 15, 20 points in a head-to-head. Immensely more talented. The court was able to open up a lot more. We ran some plays where we forced the ball around the cup a few more times than I would like. But again, I'll be honest, just as a fan and as an alumni, I was proud. I was proud, Coach Pillow. I got to get you on the show. I got to get your phone number, something like that. But I want to make sure I approach you the right way because I don't want you to think I'm trying to holler at you, or just be weird. I'm very cognizant of that. Just being fully transparent. I'm very cognizant of how I approach other people because sometimes you can come off the wrong way, even when you don't have nefarious intentions. So I always want to make sure I come at people the right way. And so I'm next time I see Coach Pillow, I may, make sure I've thoroughly introduced myself and ask for her information so that, I can try to get on the show. But I was proud. I definitely appreciated. I could see the difference in recruiting, and we got to get some more funding. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. She needs an extra player or two. Maybe that's something that can come through NIL or something, but I can see growth. And that's, for me, that's what I want. I want growth. I don't need us to win 20 games. I don't need to have 30 games all the time when it's not realistic. I need growth. Football, I need a winning record. I need 7 wins plus. I'm not gonna complain too much. I'm gonna get mad and upset, but right now with Coach Simmons, I'm not upset with him. I'm aggravated at that last game, and we'll go over that in a minute. But with Coach Pillow and Coach McCullum, I'm not overly upset. Coach McCullum's got a losing season this year, and I'm not going to be upset just because I'm understanding. I'm a realist. I'm not a FAMU homer. You're not going to tell me FAMU's going to beat Florida State in football. I'm going to be up there getting upset. No. I know what's up. So that being stated, it was a good game. It was a good experience. That was my first time ever at the University of South Florida's basketball arena, the Yingling Center. And one of my personal goals is to go to all the arenas. So that was a check off my box. I've been to obviously I've been to the Tucker Center. I've never been to Tully, actually. So I need to, next time I go home, I need to just randomly run in the Tully Center and Tully Gym and check it out. But obviously I've been to Gaither Lawson Center. Also I've done the O'Connell Center down in UF. They've changed the name since, but I've been in there just going to the bathroom for a football game. But I've gone in, seen the floor, everything else. It's impressive. But I've done UCF. UCF's gorgeous. So need to do FAU, FIU, and a couple other schools. But that was a nice experience. And again, you had a good contingency of fans from when I got there. Some people did leave, and again, you're not mad at that. That's not anything to get too mad at. But upcoming, we have Georgia State. They're going to be coming to Tallahassee on the 15th. That should be on Tuesday. Double check my calendar here on the computer. Yep, Tuesday, the 15th, at home. So Lawson Center, if you're in town, pack it out. Help them pack out. I won't be there. Again, covering sports is my hobby, and I made my passion to a side hustle. And then we go to Michigan State on the 17th. That is in East Lansing, Michigan. So again, support the ladies. That's going to be on Thursday night. So hopefully we can be competitive. I'm not saying we're going to win, but I need competition. That's the big thing. Now the volleyball team, the SWAC champion, defending SWAC champion volleyball team, they finished the Mississippi Valley State results, and we won 3-0. It's a win, and we finished today as the SWAC co-champions. I know what's going on my camera. It looks more fuzzy. I'm not going to put my finger over it, but may do a commercial in a second. And that was huge to me. Just as a fan and as an alumnus, you want your teams to win. I'm just honest with y'all. I don't think we're going to win every sport, but 3-0, we swept Valley. We beat Jackson State. You came out, you hosted, and man, shout out to everyone who works for the FAMU media team. They covered all those games on the Rattler Sports Network for FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, and great job. And just, it's hate week. Don't get me wrong. It's hate week. It's Florida Classic week. We play Mary's kids this week, but I'm just telling y'all, we don't hate Cookman. It's a rivalry. I don't hate BCU. I'm gonna tell y'all, the one school in the state of Florida I can't stand is University of Miami. I'm a Seminole fan. FAMU, FSU are my two favorite teams. That's a rivalry where there's actual hatred. And I don't even hate UM fans. I just don't like UM. But when it comes to Cookman, we don't hate them. Those are our cousins. Those are our cousins down south that, when they play somebody, we support them a lot of times. Just being honest. It's not a hatred. But this week, the memes are going to be out there. Meme team is out there. If you create memes for the Classic, please send them a brother's way so I can be petty too. It's petty week. It's petty 30. It's petty 15. I don't care what you say. It's petty. Like, this whole week is petty. And the SWAC champion volleyball team has gone on there, and we're about to get ready for Classic week. But before we get ready for Classic week, we're going to talk about this Alabama State game that got a brother on this Brown tonight. I'm not talking about this Brown with a little bit of sweet tea. But that being stated, before we get into that, we're going to go take a short commercial break. I'm honestly going to clean up this camera screen to make sure it's not just me. But shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Appreciate it, Obeezy. And yes, the turn up is real, my brother. We got a little bit of brown in our cup because, man, that FAMU, oh my gosh, that FAMU Alabama State game was frustrating. I'm full transparency, as I told y'all, its reaction. I was honest. I had not watched the game. I was watching on ESPN. My wife surprised me for my birthday, and quietly, I have two favorite plays. My favorite play growing up was Cats. And that's because in middle school, we just sang the songs, and I love Cats. So Cats was my favorite play. But my new favorite play is Hamilton. And I am a social studies teacher, and I normally infuse Hamilton into my class. I haven't done so this much this year because I'm teaching a new subject, civics, and it's just so new to me. Whereas with U.S. history, I include Hamilton for the first 9 weeks. And so she took me to Hamilton. It was part of my birthday present. And I let's be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all know I don't like to lie to y'all. I already knew what she was doing. I knew what was up, but she threw me off because we did the directions, and this has nothing to do with the podcast. but the directions took me like down a street. And I was like, what's this got this got to do with something else? What is this? Like this I thought we were going to Hamilton. And I was kind of late because I was cleaning out the car. Anyways, I digress. And finally the directions told me to make a left. And I'm like, all right, there we go. There we go. We're going to the Dr. Phillips Center because I don't know what the heck was going on. And then we got there and great time. Shout out to my wife. She does a great job. I am indebted to her. She puts up with my BS. She puts up with me chasing my dreams, and she's a good woman. I definitely I owe a debt of gratitude. And my brother-in-law is downstairs, so he ain't even watching this. But it's a good woman. So, but that being stated, FAMU versus Alabama State. Man, that game was frustrating as hell. First and foremost, the TV broadcast, again, for about the first hour, there's no sound. But FAMU wins. FAMU wins 21-14. There's another game where we left 20 plus points on the board. I mean, we left 9 points on the board with field goals, but from what I've been told, it was very windy. The wind was kind of off. And a couple of the field goals, I'm not going to be mad at the kicker for missing. One of them was about a 40-something yard field goal, high winds. But I did take notes while I could. Like some parts of the game, I just got lost because the broadcast and everything else it says 13 minutes and so 20 seconds for like half the game. And it's 7-7. And obviously it's not. But the first drive, we had well-balanced play calling. We mixed the run, we mixed the pass. We do stay in the shotgun for a lot of the game. And I'm done arguing with you. I'm done fussing about the use of different formations. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not. How you doing, Miss Williams? If y'all did not know, our one of our favorite show contributors, Miss Williams, has sent a hey baby boy, how are you doing? We're gonna have her back because basketball season's coming up. Probably have her come for the classic, for the not the classic, well maybe but the FAMU BCU basketball game. So get ready, Miss Williams. I'm gonna have you ready for that game. That game is a game that normally sells out. But that game was aggravating to watch. And for those who did watch it in live, hats off to you, because I was at the Dr. Phillips Center at post game losing my stuff. I was trying to my wife was talking to somebody, and I literally had to tell the person like, "Yo, my bad, bro. I'm trying to watch this FAMU game. I'm trying to see what's up. Like, I'm not even trying to mix and mingle right now. I'm watching my Rattlers, and they get on my last good Christian nerve." But the first drive again, we stayed on schedule. Good drive, good mix of pass and run. Again, we stay in the shotgun the whole most of the drive. I mean, most of the game we're in the shotgun. That's our offense. I'm done arguing with that. I want us to use the pistol more. We did use a pistol setup later, but we called a timeout. But the run game was working for a lot of the game. We just shot ourselves in the foot so often. The second drive, we do mix the pass and the run. Again, shotgun dependent. Came out of that timeout with consecutive passes and we threw a pick. I mean, and we missed. It's just, yeah, man. It's just missed field goals. Third drive, again, mixing the run and the passes really well. FAMU runs for over 100 yards, which we should have ran for more than that because at the end of the game, I'm like a lot of y'all screaming, what the Thomasville are we doing? But we ran on the third drive, we ran a play where the left guard and the left tackle both pulled, and we ran behind them, and it looked great. We ran out of the shotgun formation, and it was beautiful. It really worked. It was effective. It was something that I haven't seen a lot of, and some of it may just be, again, the last two games I've been spotting for the games, so I'm really looking at like the defensive stats more so than like I'm looking at who's making the tackle, who's making the interceptions. Whereas in this game, and because of the way that the Alabama State film is done, it's really like an all 22 film. Like you're really getting to see the whole field. And as much as I may seem like I'm complaining about it, and I am complaining about it because that commentary was non-existent. Once we got commentary, the Alabama State commentators are good. They're solid commentators. Um, Again, we just can't hear them. You don't hear anything almost till halftime, but you really get to see the play development, and you get to see that. For me, sometimes our passer routes were not. I didn't like them. I felt like, especially that drive near the end there, we had a play where it seemed like we ran three goes or three deep routes. A go is a route where the receiver pretty much runs straight down the field. It's either called a go, sometimes called a 9 route, sometimes called a streak, but they're all the same route. It's all the same thing. They're all routes where you essentially just run straight down the field. That does great for stretching the zone, meaning it pushes the guys that are in zone defense to run deeper and it allows somebody to run underneath. But it seemed like we had a guy running underneath to the left, and Musa just wasn't able to see him in time, and the receivers covered. I questioned that. It ended up in a punt, and we finally get sound going into that third drive. Fourth drive of the game is kind of late in the half. About 2 minutes and some change into the right before halftime. I really don't. Right before halftime, I'm not overly critiquing what a coach is going to do. We do miss a 40-yard plus field goal, but AJ Davis had he looked good back there running as far as running the ball. Kamari Young has a drop. We got an unsportsmanlike conduct and that unsportsmanlike conduct saved us, though. That wasn't on FAMU. It was against Alabama State because the ball is dropped. The Alabama State player kicks the ball, and I'm like, what in the University of Florida are you doing? You throwing shoes, bro? It almost saved the drive, but again, it's right before halftime, and FAMU's just struggling, just trying to figure out something. The pass game was there, but we started making a lot of mistakes. FAMU's defense, though, stingy all game. We were hitting hard, opportunistic. FAMU's defense is exciting to watch. And Bama State's going to score on double passes, which to me, one of the things Alabama State did better than FAMU in this game was watch film. I think sometimes we overly rely on our talent because we know how talented we are. I feel like Coach Willie Simmons knows how talented this football team is. But I feel like at the same point, we underutilize the film. And Alabama State didn't do that. They watched the previous film. They saw games like Alabama State. Sorry, I said Alabama State. Alabama State watched games like the Mississippi Valley State game where they had that pass where they ran the fake screen and then the deep route, and they ran a double pass. We throw the ball to the right, the corners bite up because we run a zone-based defense. The receiver runs past them. They had a secondary pass, and they scored a touchdown on it. Again, that's film study. And kudos to Alabama State on that. That's not something I'm not going to get mad at you for beating me for noticing tendencies. I'm going to get mad at you for beating me on stuff that I know is coming. And for me, that's something that if you listen, I state at almost every game. My question is always, how is our zone defense going to respond to play action plays? And for me, while that's not a play action play, quote unquote, it is a play that the initial action causes a reaction from the defense and thus leaves a player open. Because once you throw the double pass, that first pass over to the side causes the corners and sometimes the safeties to come up, allowing the receiver on the whichever side of the ball, but in this play, on the right side of the ball to run through and over the top of the coverage to where the receiver that catches it on the first pass to make an initial pass, thus it being called a double pass. That passed through the coverage, and then they scored. That was how they scored. But we looked good for most of the game. I mean, the only other score that Alabama State has is on a block kick. I mean, offensively, they couldn't do anything against the team. Eventually, honestly, in the fourth quarter, Coach Simmons realizes this. Even the commentators for Alabama State's like, FAMU's playing very conservative, and they're daring you to score against them. And we were. We dared Alabama State to score against us, and they couldn't. They just couldn't. And some I've seen individuals be like, "That's a really good team." I don't know. I think we played a bad game. I'm not trying to be like divisive, but I want to be transparent. I don't think Alabama State's that good. I think the defense is solid. I think the offense is trash. But we've also played like trash. You had 3 turnovers and you still won. The second time this season you've done that. To me, that's not indicative of high level competition. Especially if you look at the turnovers. I mean, you go back to that six drive, decent balance, 5th drive. Knights missed the pass and run interception. 6th drive, decent balance, interception. And that was good film study. What happens on that 6th drive? We run that route where Xavier Smith, sometimes K Dot, but they run the route where they are running a flag route. So though it's normally an underneath route where the receiver comes up and he runs towards the goalpost, towards the it's the back pylon. So the back of the end zone in the corner. Musa throws the ball and the corner jumps her out. The corner watched film. I mean, again, that was good film study. That was really good film study. 7th drive, again, nice balance. We missed a field goal. Again, I've been told it was really windy, but that's 9 points you left on the board. Like those 9 points added up. 8th drive, FAMU gets a turnover right before. That was a dumb play call to me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call a spade every time. Spades are spades, hearts are hearts, diamonds are diamonds, clubs are clubs. Let's go get some books. And that was a drive where we should have got a book, and we did nothing. First play, we run a pass play. First, it was a bad play call. Secondly, it was some piss poor blocking. Thirdly, Musa throws in the pass into triple coverage, but he throws in the triple coverage because the blocking was trash. But then none of that should have happened because you're in the red zone. You should have run the ball on first down. I'm second guessing that all day. Like I'm second guessing that all day. And EA's got a question. Y'all know EA's my guy. I'm gonna get to that. But why in the Thomasville on 1st and goal are you throwing the ball in the red zone? That don't make good nonsense. Run the ball, dog. Like I love you to life. I love you with the love of the Lord. There you go. There you go. So, but I'm saying this in good. I'm saying this so hopefully when you review the film, run the ball on first down. Because the worst that can happen is you can lose yards or fumble. But that's better than a dang gum pick. The fumble ain't, but the way our running backs are set up, they're very consistent. But what are you doing? Why are you throwing the ball? Because when you're running that play where the guard and the tackle are pulling, my man, FAMU was running the ball. And we have success running the ball. Like post game, it's like, yeah, the running game wasn't where it was supposed to be because we threw the ball so much, especially at the end of the game, 4th quarter. What are you doing? But you got to run the ball there. Even on first down, run the ball, get 2 yards. Okay, cool. At least see what they're giving you. Second down, honestly, I'm straight with y'all. I might run that ball 3 times and kick a field goal. Just to take the points. See where it goes because you're moving the ball. It's not like we weren't getting success running the ball. You're not hitting home runs. And honestly, you ain't got no Barry this year. Bishop Bonnet was Barry Bonds. 72 home runs all season long. There's a whole, hey men, there goes the church, and we can all rise up for the benediction because the bishop has gotten loose. You ain't got that this year. So I'm gonna get to EA's question. EA is a great question. The question is 2 questions. Has Coach Simmons grown as a clock manager since 2018's JSU fiasco? And 2, even if we go 9-10, we are a playoff team. I would say he's grown as a playoff manager. Yes. I mean, a game manager, excuse me. I told you I was a little brown in the cup. And I was watching them Rattlers, and that's a hard watch. I forget what my brother-in-law got, but it's good liquor. And I mix it with sweet tea. I'm sorry. I'm an old lady when it comes to my drinking. But okay, has Coach Simmons grown as a clock manager? Absolutely. I don't think 2 years ago we get that much running at the end of the game. I think Coach Simmons realized in the 4th quarter that Alabama State couldn't do diddly and squat against us, and that he made a concerted effort to try to run the ball. Because I think he also saw where it was working a bit. But Alabama State bowled up. Like, to their credit, they bowled up against us. Like, they weren't no punks. And I know that's not like a PC thing to say. Y'all know I don't mean it like that. They weren't, I'm searching for the correct word, and I apologize. This isn't good podcasting, but they weren't, the word's not lackadaisical. It's not, they weren't submissive. There we go. They were not submissive when we were trying to overpower them. There we go. That's a better phrase, a better word. So I would say yes, he's grown in his adjustment. I think just when you look at how we finished the game, we finally finished a dadgum drive. Like, God bless it, but it was aggravating watch. And even if we go 9-2, are we a playoff team? In my opinion, no. But does our record dictate we are? Yes. Especially when you consider some teams lost this week that might let us in. I think FAMU's record is going to be indicative of a team that is playoff worthy, especially if you can beat Mary's kids. I think, because I don't think a lot of people watch the games. And that's a blessing in this case. Sometimes it's a curse, but I think that's a blessing. And furthermore, I think if you get fortunate and not just win this game, but have a few other teams lose their games, you may get a home game. And I think that is the key. If FAMU gets a home playoff game, the game changes, because one, you're getting 20 to 30,000. Like, you're going to have a good turnout. FAMU fans show up. We're crazy. Don't ask me why. We love this university that sits on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida. And y'all people will sit up there in hoodies and jackets and long sleeve clothes to support them bleepity bleep Rattlers. And the 100 will be there. Even on Thanksgiving break, you need to few kids show up. I'm just saying that this. So I think, yes, I think FAMU will go to the playoffs if we beat Bethune-Cookman. But do I think we're deserving? Not from what I've watched. I'm just being honest. I hope nobody in the playoffs is watching this, because you're going to be like, man, this dude is a FAMU. And he's saying, I haven't seen it. The Southern game was the first game in a mighty long time where I felt like we should get it. And Ms. Williams just said, yes, we do support the Rattlers, and we also provide plenty of beverages. Look, Rattlers know how to drink. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. We will drink you under the table. We know how to drink some liquor. We know how to consume. We know how to coordinate, and we know how to moderate. Just a little bit for thy stomach's sake is what the good book says. And it's a Sunday, so just saying, my stomach is feeling very, very nice right now. But it was frustrating, man. But going back to it, that 8th drive, that was, again, why are you throwing the red zone? Why? That was just one of my pet peeves. The run game was solid. Like, FAMU could have run for 150 yards. So last week, 30,000 minimum for hosting. Look, somebody better find in the budget. I'm just saying that's a game you can make money. I'm just gonna be honest. And I'm gonna say it like this, and I know I am getting on a bit of a tangent with the playoff thing, but if FAMU can get the playoff bid, that's a game where you open it up to 5,000 students. Don't limit it to 3,000 students. Open that up to 5,000 to 6,000 students, just because of the time of the year, short notice. You're gonna get a good contingency of FAMU fans, but if you can get some of our students there, that's a game where you want the student vibe. You want the left, right, both. You want that. You want the student vibe. There is nothing like seeing, when you're not used to it, 25 to 30,000 Black people in one area, and you're Black. It's a different vibe, because their football teams have probably not seen that. Some of them may have, but a lot of them may not have seen that maybe since high school, depending on where they're from. So all of a sudden, there's that culture shock. You got the band, you got the students. Hopefully, God bless us. DJ Loose Kid is there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thanksgiving weekend, that's a problem. That's the only problem. That's why I say you try to bump up them student. They pay the fees. I mean, students pay a fee. Students pay a fee to be able to enjoy athletics. Look, throw the kids a bone. Let's bump that number to 5,000. Have 15,000 for the alumni. You can get 20,000 in there. Pack out brag. Yeah. And Miss Williams says those teams are shocked FAMU travels so well. She's right. Alabama State did not expect y'all jokers to come through there like that. And the coaches even said, yo, that was like brag. That felt like home. A lot of Rattlers showed up. But going into the ninth drive, we did nothing. The clock stops weird. Like if you watch the rebroadcast, it's 13 minutes and 20 seconds for a long time. But we get into the fourth quarter, we get a kick blocked. And man, our special teams, again, if you watch the pregame on Thursday, I said I need special teams to not be special, be boring, just be average. I need you to just do your job and go home. And we got a block kick. They returned it for a touchdown. And FAMU's all of a sudden down when you should not have been. Again, FAMU left 20, maybe 30 points on the field. And that's a common theme this season. FAMU is consistently scoring below what its standard. But in the fourth quarter, FAMU responds. After that block kick, we kind of went a little run heavy, mixed in the pass. We drop a pass in the end zone, and I'm screaming like, run the ball. Like do something. But we hit K-Dot. Jamari Rashid for that pass. And that was a beautiful pass. I'm sorry. I don't know how it doesn't end up on ESPN's top 10 just because, one, the timing of the game, but also it was a beautiful catch. Like, give the guy some credit. Jamari is not a 6'5" receiver. He's one of us. He one of me. He's like 5'10", 5'9" guy. Great catch. And I wonder if Xavier was a decoy on that. Xavier Smith goes over 100 yards. I think he has 145, meaning, look, if he gets 50-some yards against Mary's kids, he's got 1,000. Let's go. But we come back. The game's going to come to a last-second kick, 15-14. FAMU blocks the kick. And one of the Bowler brothers, Kendall this time, not BJ, man, look, Kendall Bowler is going to be a starting corner next year, and he's good. Blocks it, or is blocked. Kendall picks it up, returns, and it's a touchdown. FAMU gets out of Montgomery, also known as the Gump, with the 21-14 victory. And I'm pretty sure my wife was sitting on that score because I was driving, and she didn't want anything bad to happen. But FAMU won. No, she actually said, "Y'all won." I'm like, "Yes, all right, we won." I got to see my father-in-law. But my player of the game, honestly, it was FAMU's defense. FAMU's defense, man, them Rattlers have been stingy. Like, stingy as your homeboy who only got $1 in his pocket, and you asking him for 99 cents. Bro, I ain't got but $1 on me today, man. I can't help you. God, dog. You can't help him. You can't let a brother borrow $1. That's all I got. FAMU, that's all we got. All we got is $1 in our pocket, and you ain't gonna get it. FAMU's defense, and then obviously Xavier. To be this close to 1,000 yards, this will be our first 1,000-yard receiver. Again, I don't have the stat in front of me, but I'm gonna speculate probably since Kevin Elliott, maybe before that. Like, rare air for FAMU receivers to be dropping 1,000 yards. It's not common. FAMU spreads the ball out a lot nowadays, and it's just one of those things. It's not every day you see a 1,000-yard receiver wearing orange and green. So those are our two players of the game presented by CableBusterTV.com. And man, we finished the game, and Coach Simmons just let y'all know, 24-hour rule is not going to be extended. You get 24 hours, maybe less than that, and then we're on to Mary's kids. And I'm sorry, this whole week y'all gonna be Mary's kids. So I'm not BC who? Mary's kids. And It's out of love and respect. I always respect Mary McLeod Bethune and what she did. That was a trailblazing woman who is very deserving of her statue being where it is. But this week, we play her school in football. Man, I need to put my foot firmly in your backside. I'm sorry, Mary's kids, but I'm trying to get a W, and I ain't gonna talk too much trash. But it is hate week. Let the memes start. Enjoy yourselves, Rattlers. It's going to be a great time. And man, it's classic week. Whole lot going on. Fridays, family's gonna have their events. Saturday morning, Cookman has their breakfast, and I don't know what they eat. They might eat cheese grits, and they probably put sugar in their grits at this point. I don't know. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna stop. I bet they put sugar in their grits. So, but that being stated, man, great weekend, great time to be had. That Friday may be interesting. We'll see. Just because around the stadium, we're going to see if there may be a high school football game. They may move it just because we did have a shooting at the local high school right by the stadium, unfortunately, where someone did get killed. So need your cousin to act right. Tell your cousins they're coming to Orlando for the Classic. Act right. Don't be effing it up for all us good God-fearing people that want to get back home to our families. But it is Classic week, y'all. I might hit up some of my dudes, man. I need to hit Mr. Coach Moody, see what he's up to, and get ready, y'all, man. Classic week is one of the fun weeks. You really get this week. We got 3 great ones. I mean, family needs to have Southern on the schedule every year. You had homecoming, you had Southern, and then we get the Classic. 3 big games, huge times here at Orlando. If you see a brother at the stadium, throw a what's up, fist bump. I really don't. I'm not big crazy on hugs, but do something. Say how are you doing? What's up? But Classic week is here. Battle of the Bands is going to be Friday. Saturday is the game. You're going to have all kind of stuff, popping circumstance, a lot of fun. Classic week is one of those times. Get you a little $20 so you can go see the vendors. Tell them I sent you. It ain't gonna get you no discount, but at least it'll say, they might give me a discount when I come through. But real talk, y'all. Come through with good intentions, have fun. Again, it is Classic week, BCU hate week. Who is televising the game? ESPN3, supposedly. And we might slide to ESPN2. This is one of the games ESPN kind of earmarks and says, we want that game. Normally, they hit us for 2 games, either MEAC SWAC Challenge, but the Florida Classic is almost always on ESPN. Like that, but I'm almost for certain we're on ESPN3 this year. So if you're having a watch party, go enjoy it. But it's always, yes, go Rattlers. Let me just let y'all know, go Rattlers. As y'all know, we're gonna strike and strike and strike again. And as always, y'all, it's going to be Fangs Up. See y'all Thursday, 8 p.m. as we get ready for the Florida Classic. Thank y'all as always.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is.